Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. So this test is going to involve 25-shot groups using 4 different rifle primers. In all cases, will be loaded with 21.2 grains of IMR 3031 rated at 2,600 feet per second. We'll be shooting Federal Gold Medal match primers, Federal Gold Medal AR primers, CCI 450, and CCI 400. So we're going to test this with the same load. We had really good groups at 21 grains of IMR 3031. 21.2 is the max load. So we're going to shoot those, and we're going to test 4 different primers to see which primer groups the best with this particular load. Okay, so as I've mentioned, I'm going to be testing 4 different primers. I'm going to be shooting 5-shot groups, 5-shot groups for each primer. Federal Gold Medal, Federal Gold Medal AR, CCI 450, and CCI 400. But instead of going and shooting all of the Federal Gold Medal first, and then going to Federal Gold Medal AR and so forth, I'm going to shoot the first column. I'm going to shoot 5 shots of each primer first. That way, what would happen otherwise, after I've shot these first 75 and I get to the last 25, I've got a dirty barrel, and that could affect grouping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot 5 shots of each, and then I'm going to move on to the next target and shoot 5 shots of each of the 4 primers, then 5 shots of each, 5 shots of each, 5 shots of each, and that's how I'll be doing it. Okay, so the first 3 shots are just to warm up the barrel and get it ready, and then I'll move on to the actual target shooting. Okay, so here we go with the Federal Gold Medal. All right, we move on to the Federal Gold Medal AR. Next target down. All right, dead center and a little low. And I have a split case. Moving on to the CCI 450. All right, moving on to the CCI 400. Okay, so that's 5 on the first column. And I'm going to have to say, so far, the Federal Gold Medal match primers have grouped the best. The CCI 450 was okay. I had one flyer there, but that group looks pretty good. So I'm going to go back to Federal Gold Medal and start on the second column. All right. This just seems to be in the way. Let's just move that down altogether. Okay, that looks like maybe a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch group. Back to the 400. Okay, so that round is completed. And right there, it looks like the CCI 450 was grouping the best. I have a little different shooting setup because normally the rifle is resting directly on the bag and on this, but because I'm using the extended magazines, I'm having to elevate the rifle to accommodate it. So I'm having a little different shooting position here. Okay, so back to the Federal Gold Medal match. We'll start our third round of targets. Group's kind of opened up. So on to the 400. Okay, round number 4. Going back to the Federal Gold Medal. Case separation starting on that one. All right, back to 450. Okay, so back to 400. Bottom row, 4th. Okay, back to Federal Gold Medal. This is our last column. I'm going to lower this cheek rest all the way down. The riser is not really a riser if it doesn't do any rising. Okay, here's a quick look at the overall. All of these group similarly. I see a few where we have maybe like 4 clustered together in one flyer. And here, this was an excellent group. This was with the CCI 450, but towards the end, that group was opening up. Of course, this was the last 20 rounds on this last column, so the barrel may have been starting to get dirty. But we will take them home, we'll measure them, and we'll compare and see the results. Okay, so we've measured the groups and we've done some analysis. To reiterate, we're testing the results of 4 primers: Federal Gold Medal, Federal Gold Medal AR, CCI 450 Magnum, and CCI 400. And the results are interesting. In all of these, we had some good groups and some not so good groups. Looking at the Federal Gold Medal match, we had groups with an overall spread of 0.68, 1.32, 0.51, that was our best group, 0.77, and this one with 1.76. I will note that even on this one with the 1.32 extreme spread, we had a flyer here, but the best 4 out of 5 grouped at 0.43 inches. Here on this group with 0.68, our best 4 out of 5 grouped at 0.41 inches. This was a triangular shaped group. Both the extreme spread and the best 4 out of 5 measured at 0.51. Very little difference here, 0.77 overall, 0.70 extreme spread. Here with the flyer, we had 1.16, but the best 4 out of 5, 0.76. For all 5 groups, the average extreme spread was 0.89 inches. The average best 4 out of 5 was 0.56 inches. And what I do is I take the average extreme spread and the average of the 4 out of 5, I combine those two and average those, and that gives me what I refer to as a score for the groups of 0.73 on an average. So on the Federal Gold Medal AR, we had extreme spreads of 1.01, 0.83, 0.79, 0.97, and 1 inch exactly. On the best 4 out of 5, we had 0.92, 0.68. Here's one at 0.42, 0.41, and 0.55. So the average extreme spread was 0.92 inches, and the average best 4 out of 5 was 0.60 for a combined average on those, or a score of 0.76 inches. For the CCI 450 Magnum, we had extreme spreads of 1.28, 0.68, 1.19, 0.92, and 1.29. If you take out the flyers, the best 4 out of 5 were 0.68. Here's one at 0.37, 1.1, 0.48, and 0.97. So your average extreme spread here was 1.07. Your best 4 out of 5 average 0.72. And if you combine and average those two, you come up with 0.90. Then on the CCI 400, we had extreme spreads of 1.1, 0.90, 0.89, 0.84, and 0.86. The best 4 out of 5 on these were 0.85, 0.69, 0.84, 0.49, and 0.76. So the average extreme spread for the CCI 400 was 0.92. The best 4 out of 5 averaged 0.73. And the combined average was 0.82. So just looking at these overall, the Federal Gold Medal Match Primers performed the best with an average extreme spread of 0.89 inches. The best 4 out of 5 averaging 0.56 inches, and a combined average of those two of 0.73. Federal Gold Medal AR had a combined average of 0.76. CCI 450 had a combined average of 0.90, and the CCI 400 had a combined average of 0.82. These are both federal. These are both CCI. So if you combine and average those on the federal, your average extreme spread of the two primers was 0.91 inches. Your average of the best 4 out of 5 was 0.58 inches. And the combined average of those two was 0.75. With CCI, we had a combined extreme spread average on all groups of 0.99, with your best 4 out of 5 at 0.73, and a combined average of 0.86. So overall, the federal performed better, although I don't know that it was substantially better because you're comparing a 0.91 average to a 0.99 average. On the best 4 out of 5, you're comparing 0.58 and 0.73. And then on your combined average of those two, 0.75 for federal, 0.86 for CCI. So overall, federal wins the competition. I still have a lot of CCI primers to use, and I will not let this study stop me from using that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to post a comment, or if you've had similar or different experiences, please feel free to share that as well. Thanks for watching.